a complete lie flat position. What you see here is a little bit of special setup. If you pay attention, you see here in this row we have 4 seats, 1, 2 and 1. In the next row we have 1, 2 and 2. So every other seat row is 5 or 4. What we did is basically we have here a little bit larger armrest. That was the basic idea, where the passenger behind you can go with his feet in this sort of tunnel. Very comfortable and very cozy to snuggle in. The different kind of qualities of seat. At the beginning we were a little bit afraid of that, what it would do to the passenger, but now meanwhile, with the experience of a little bit more than 2 years we are flying this seat here, the experience says basically that would be an advantage to the passenger, because the passenger, they know, especially the frequent flyer, they know immediately in what kind of seat they would like to fly, and they are changing as well. So sometimes you fly alone, sometimes you fly with your spouse, and sometimes you fly with your business partner. So that's quite different than the need to the passenger. So the workaholics amongst us, and especially the frequent flyer, they love this one. The single seat, we call it the throne, because you have 2 large consoles, you can distribute your papers, your laptop, everything, and if the meal is coming, you even have space for the meal. If you are together with a colleague to a business trip, you'd rather would take those seats in the middle, because you have as well 2 consoles here, and you have enough space between each other. Even though if you don't know that person too good, you have enough separated room, which is from a psychological point of view quite comfortable as well. Then on the right hand side you have all the single seats. So that's the, let's say, the typical business class flyer seat. We found out in a large test that we have about 60% of our business class passengers are not traveling alone. That was quite a surprise to us, and therefore we think we have the right seat layout here in the cabin. Everybody as well got his own TV, a little bit larger than in the back, naturally, and you have everywhere those little cavities where you can put your laptop or your little belongings in the front. We call it like the glove compartment, like in the old cars where it was all open. And then naturally literature pocket, and below in the center there is a shoe box as well, so you can have your shoes in there, and they are not flying around in the aircraft. A real speciality to that seat as well, same as in first class, we have introduced an air cushion. So it's the first time basically in the airline industry where you not only change the way of seating or of lying and sleeping, but you have an influence in the comfort zone of the air cushion itself. So you can go harder or softer. So it depends. Sometimes it has a cultural background as well, that I always take the American. They like to sleep in very soft and thick mattress, lot of pillows. You cannot go that far, but in this direction. And probably the Japanese more lying on the futon, very hard and firm. That's what you could do as well. So for those who don't like to play around with technical stuff, we have a setup which is automated. So in takeoff and landing it's the firmest, then you go into a lounge position, it's a little bit softer, and in bed it's the softest, but always you have an envelope where you can change your firmness or your softness of the seat. Here as well the typical colors, corporate identity colors for Swiss International, with this wood panel, and then quite a big contrast of white and earthy colors. So it depends. What we try to achieve is that if you enter through the finger dock and probably don't even have seen delivery of the outside the aircraft, and you have no clue what kind of airline it is because you have several code shares on. If you go in, you will see immediately that it's a Swiss aircraft, and that's what we want to achieve if we do a new aircraft or refurbish an older one.